how do you choose a president without creating a new king? Well, let's imagine that you've helped build the first large-scale republic in modern history, and you've broken away from monarchy, and you've rejected hereditary kings. You've rejected those aristocratic titles. So now you face the most dangerous question of all, and that is, how do you choose an executive that's strong enough to lead without creating a new king? So direct election might favor, the demagogues, or, Congress choosing the president risks corruption and bargaining. State governors choosing him creates regional bias. And so Hamilton steps back into this argument with this essay, and he's in the debate with Federalist 68, and he's like, okay, fine. We're just going to go ahead and present the answer from the framers of the Constitution. Electors chosen by the people who meet, deliberate, and make an informed, independent choice. That's the way we're going to go. And this is the original logic behind the Electoral College. I'm Matt Haskell. I'm a high school history and civics teacher. We're taking this journey through all 85 of the Federalist Papers, and here we are with number 68. Alexander Hamilton's back with us. So let's go ahead and set the stage here. So Hamilton isn't defending the Electoral College as a modern institution. He's actually defending its purpose as written in 1787. This was a time before, the mass media and political parties and national campaigns, instant communication, and then just like universal suffrage for everyone. So the founders were trying to, the framers were trying to solve a 1780s problem. How do you prevent, chaos and corruption and foreign influence and from hijacking a presidential election? And their answer was a layered process. It was designed for fairness, independence, and safety. And so Hamilton's main claim, his core argument is the Electoral College balances the will of the people with a layer of protection against corruption, against faction, manipulation, and foreign influence. It was meant to combine, popular participation or informed judgment, independence from Congress, independence from foreign powers, and protection from sudden waves, sudden passions that come through. So to kind of in short here, the president should be chosen by the people, but not directly by the crowd. The president should be chosen by representatives chosen by the people. So then, why not Congress, right? And Hamilton rejects the idea of letting Congress choose the president because he argues that this would lead to political bargaining, legislative bribery, foreign influence, executive dependence upon Congress, and then constant campaigning inside the legislature. So a president chosen by Congress would become Congress's servant and not a servant of the people. And so the framers wanted separation of powers, not a parliamentary system, like where the prime minister is picked from the legislative body. So then why not popular election then? So Hamilton does not oppose the people's involvement. He does support broad participation in the time, but he fears things like, regional candidates, charismatic individuals, uninformed passions, foreign-backed agitators, chaotic, national contests, candidates winning huge states but ignoring the small ones, and then manipulation of large population centers. Now, these are all problems that we still see today, but he does worry that the public could be swayed by things like, talents for, as he wrote, talents for low intrigue and the little arts of popularity. So he's proposing kind of a filter, right? Not to reverse the public's will, but to actually refine the will of the people. So when it comes to the role of the electors then, Hamilton described the electors as temporary positions, right? They are independent, knowledgeable about national politics. They're insulated from corruption, and they're chosen specifically for just this one task. They would meet in their own states to avoid collusion and any kind of foreign influence. And so they would be free from bribery, intimidation, as he called it, factional mobs, and then congressional influence. So electors were supposed to be a Republican guardrail, small r. Now, one thing that concerned Hamilton more than anything else was we need to make sure that we're preventing foreign influence. And this is his most urgent concern, because he warns that foreign governments would absolutely attempt to influence the president because the executive can do things like, command the military as commander-in-chief, chief diplomat by conducting diplomacy, appointing ambassadors, negotiating treaties. So that means the process for choosing the president must be insulated from foreign powers as much as possible. By forcing electors to meet in their own states, the framers were hoping to make bribery and manipulation more difficult. So this is like early national security thinking. Now, Hamilton does go on kind of like a philosophical point where he talks about like the most qualified argument. He's like, the Electoral College increases the likelihood that the office will fall to someone with, as he put it, requisite qualifications. So this is because electors would be informed and deliberate, temporary, but also focused on character and ability. And Hamilton believed that the nation would get better presidents as a result because he sees the system as a safeguard of competence. Now, I think you can kind of already hear like the irony coming because Hamilton's describing a system without political parties, slates of electors, pledged votes, national tickets, party loyalty tests. So electors in Hamilton's design were free agents. And that's not how the system has evolved. But this particular essay, 68, isn't about the Electoral College as it became, what it grew into. It's about how the framers understood it in 1787. And Hamilton believed it was the best protection against manipulation and political chaos. So if we look at Hamilton's reasoning, his chain of logic, foreign powers would try to influence presidential elections. Congress choosing the president invites corruption. Direct electors risk demagogues and chaos. Electors provide a buffer of independent judgment. And then the system balances popular input and national security. So there's your 5 points, and number 68, your 5 easy steps. Now, Hamilton's tone throughout the essay, as in many of his other essays, is rather optimistic because he believes that the election system will discourage foreign influence, it'll prevent those demagogues, it will encourage qualified leadership, it'll protect federalism, and it will maintain national stability. Now, it's one of the most idealistic moments in the Federalist Papers with what Hamilton's putting on paper. Now, his moral message comes down to leadership matters, character matters, and the process of choosing the president should reflect the seriousness of that responsibility. Now, the Electoral College was supposed to ensure thoughtful judgment and independence and national protection and public legitimacy. It was a moral safeguard as much as a political one. Now, all this comes down to like, what's it like for us right now? Because Federalist 68 remains central to all the debates today about the Electoral College, the popular vote, foreign influence in elections, political parties and their roles, national elections, and then just democratic legitimacy, small d there. Now, Hamilton's concerns about foreign influence and those demagogues and passion-driven elections still shape our conversations about all this today. And whether you agree with the system or not, this essay, number 68, explains why the framers built it. Now, our takeaways from this essay today would be the Electoral College was designed as a safeguard, not a bypass of the popular will. It was meant to prevent corruption and foreign influence and demagoguery. And then finally, Hamilton saw electors as independent, informed judges of character and ability. He's a man of the time. Now, closing it up here, number 68 is Hamilton's, it's a careful defense of the most debated part of the Constitution, the Electoral College. He believed that the system struck a delicate balance between public participation, Republican judgment, national security, and executive independence. It was designed for a world where the Republic was fragile, the people were passionate, and foreign powers were watching closely. And whether or not the institution evolved as Hamilton envisioned, his essay shows the framers' effort to build a system that protects the nation from chaos and corruption. Hang around for tomorrow. I'll hit number 69, and we're going to talk about the president versus the King of Great Britain. Thanks.